Welcome back to our EOC review. Today we're going to be talking about linear functions and all the things that you need to remember as you move into testing time. The first thing when we're talking about linear functions that we want to remember is slope and rate of change. So slope describes the steepness of a line, and it can be found by using the formula y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And so that's also, you could say rise over run. So do you see how you've got over here on this side, you've got rise and run, because rise is really just y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Does that make sense? So here, this represents a positive slope because it's going up from left to right. This is a negative slope because it's going down from left to right. This is a zero slope, and I remember because I put that horizontal line through my z. And undefined, and I can remember this because my u has a vertical line in it. So undefined for vertical line. Okay, and then here we've got slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b. So your m is your slope, your b is your y-intercept. Okay, so they want us to write an equation of the linear function in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start. I always say we begin with b, right? So our y-intercept is 2, so that's my b value. And then I notice the slope is going down from left to right, so that's a negative slope. And I'm going to find another point where it crosses right at the crosshairs. And so I'm going to use rise over run when they give me a graph. And so I go down 1, so that's my rise is negative 1, over, and I go right 2, so that's negative 1 over 2. So my equation then is y equals, my m is negative 1/2, x plus my b value, which is 2. Okay. Easily written, oh, this is point slope form, and it says that's easily written when you're given a slope or your m value and a point, right, a coordinate. And our point would be x sub 1 and y sub 1, okay? So y1 is going to, or y sub 1 is going to be the y coordinate of your point. And then n is still your slope. It's always going to be your slope. And then x sub 1 is the x coordinate of your point. Okay, and then it says, write an equation in point slope form of the line that has a slope of 3 and passes through 1 and negative 6. So the first thing I'm always going to do before I start anything is I'm going to label my my slope and my point. So my slope is m, so it's 3, and then 1 is going to be my x value, so that's x sub 1, and my y value is going to be y sub 1. So it's y minus y1. When I say minus negative 6, it's going to change it to a positive 6, right? Minus negative changes to a positive. My slope is 3 times x minus x sub 1. Well, x sub 1 is positive 1, so it's just going to be minus 1. Okay, and that's going to be your answer there. Then it's a standard form. That is ax plus by equals c. It says it can be helpful for finding x and y intercepts. So if you're wanting to do that, you want to, it says to find the x-intercept or the zeros, remember, set y equal to 0. To find y-intercepts, you're going to set x equal to 0. So let's see if we can, I want to show you an example of that. So in standard form, if we have 2x plus 3y equals 12, and we want to find the x-intercepts, what we're going to do is set y equal to 0. So I would say 2x plus 3, but instead of y, I'm going to put 0 equals 12. So 3 times 0 is going to give us 0. That cancels out. So we have 2x equals 12. We divide by 2 on both sides, and we have x equals 6. So my x-intercept is 6. And likewise, if we wanted to figure out what the y-intercept was, we would set x equal to 0 and solve for y. So 2 times 0 is 0, cancels out, so I'm left with 3y equals 12. Divide by 3 on both sides, and I have y equals 4. So my y-intercept would be 4, my x-intercept would be 6. And if I had a graph here, I could go ahead and plot that. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I can tell that my slope is going to be a negative slope. Okay. All right, let's get back over here. And the last thing that we want to look at is this graphing linear inequality. So it says solve the inequality for y and use the y-intercept and the slope, because when you solve it for y, you end up in slope-intercept form to plot the points on the line, okay? Use the inequality sign to determine the type of line to use and where to shade the graph, okay? So here, when it's shaded above and it's a solid line, above means greater than, so we know that this would be y is greater than, and if it's a solid line, that means equal to mx plus b. And if you've been with me for a while, we made a little post-it note that said greater than is above, less than is below, and this would be dotted because they're not included. Both of these would be dotted. And then if it was greater than or equal to, this would be above and solid. If it was less than or equal to, it's below and solid. Okay, so this one is shaded below the line and it's a dotted line, so that's going to be our less than symbol. So y is less than mx plus b. Then here, this one is shaded above, but the line is dotted, so this is just going to be greater than mx plus b. And this one is shaded below the line and it's a solid line, so less than or equal to mx plus b.